Okay, that appears to be live. Hey there everyone, welcome to my channel, it's me Gamerturk, and it's been a very long time since we had a Sword Online explained video, and this is not gonna be a video, this is a full-on live stream. The one I promised like 2 weeks ago. It's been a little over 2 weeks since the story trailer for Sword Online Last Recollection came out, where we saw the new goddesses, character reveals, enemies, and a whole bunch of stuff. It's a 3+ minute trailer, and the best way to, get those views is to do something 2 weeks later rather than when it's actually the hot topic, right? So that's exactly what we're gonna do in typical Gamerturk fashion, where I am extremely late, and without further ado, let's get into it. Feel free to ask your questions, and in fact, I'm gonna add a... In fact, I'm not gonna do that. Feel free to ask your questions. We're gonna have a Q&A session at the very end as well. And yes, Yuuki, in my opinion, has been fully confirmed. Not even 99%, has been fully confirmed because of something they did at the end of this trailer that gives it away. But we're gonna go through the entire trailer, and we're gonna do it chronologically, so the Yuuki talk is also going to be towards the end. So that right there, we literally open up with the Dark Territory. In fact, a majority of the visuals, if not all, that we see from this game, it's all in the Dark Territory itself. We have the camp scenes at the very beginning in the previous trailers and stuff, but we have so many different Dark Territory footages from all the trailers. So I'm curious how much of a ratio we'll have between the Human Empire and the Dark Territory. It's really cool that we're seeing Dark Territory, but the problem I have with it is that its geography, especially before War of Underworld, is not very varied. So I'm kind of worried if we'll have to spend a huge part of the game with purple skies, dark visuals, which is particularly bad because of their lighting on characters in these Sword Online games. So that's gonna be something. I already spoke way too much and I'm already complaining. This is why I do my explained videos normally with a script, not live. That's the Obsidia Palace in the back. Of course, our new character, Dorothy. The combat is very similar overall to Alicization Licorice, which is generally similar to the previous Akuria games. Again, this mostly feels like remaking their entire game in Unreal Engine, and also has just random lines and stuff for the first portion, because this is not just a story trailer, it's gameplay and story trailer. And why are you disappointing me, VLC? Oh, that looks like a new enemy actually, compared to the previous ones we have seen, right? Ark, you're the Akuria expert, so you tell me in the chat whether that's a new enemy or not. I have never seen that one. Also, if you actually pay attention during the gameplay things portions, I'm trying to find a proper frame, but Kirito actually in his offhand finally using the Myosotis blade that we received in the first paid expansion of Alicization Licorice, which is good to see, a little bit of continuity, because even after we got it, well, we didn't really have a chance to show it off. We still don't know what the blade does, by the way. For some DLCs that they focused on what makes a divine weapon, they sure didn't explain what Myosotis blade does. Hope we'll get a little bit more on that. Oh yeah, you can see it right there in the back. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor. I'm pretty sure you can't because I have it disabled. On the shoulder in the back, one is the Night Sky Sword, the other one is the Myosotis blade. Oh yeah, like some enemies are new, but technically just model swaps. Yeah, that is very often to do. It's just that, like, we had the, what's it called? The Praying Mantis in one of the raids. That looks like him, but actually standing up feels completely new from a rigging standpoint as well. That's why I mentioned. Shouldn't do so much back and forth, and I'm trying to go through this. Now I'm curious, this is Gabriel Miller speaking right here. I can tell you I've killed before. I wonder who he's speaking to, whether he actually gets proper scenes with Kirito. Technically, he has to get proper scenes with Kirito, right? So far, he's seemingly the main antagonist of the game. The game is not trying to pull some diversion so far based on the trailers we have seen, unlike previous games. So Gabriel Miller, much like War of Underworld, seems to be the main baddie, although I still expect the War of Underworld to drag on a whole lot longer compared to the main canon, rather than be done with in 2 days or something. We know Akuria, like, story will be long. They cannot have... The War of Underworld in the main canon will feel short compared to this. I'll put it that way. But right from the get-go, we are transitioning into the story portion, and as we have speculated in earlier trailers, all the main girls, the ones that were present in Licorice, of course, are going to be fighting Pooh. I expect this to be quite early on, like maybe within the first act. They will be fighting Pooh, and they will be absolutely massacred. This is... I can't believe they properly put the scenes in the trailer as well. In the previous ones, all we have seen was a screenshot from above. But here, they actually show, like, Silica getting bodied there is... That's quite brutal. Look at that. Ouch. Lisbeth is just dying quite normally. Asuna is implied. They didn't actually show it on camera. Leafa's scene is actually... People made fun of Leafa running towards all the explodey stuff. But I actually really like this depiction because it mirrors her entire scenes in War of Underworld against the Red Army. You know, she's going against all the odds, and the only reason she survives there is because she's Terraria. Whereas her behavior is exactly the same here. The only difference is she's not Terraria, so she will end up dying in this case. I really like it. Like, I have no idea why people are making fun of this scene. They didn't actually show Sinon dying, but yeah. She will. Who's that? I think that is the new character that they have with Dorothy and Sarai. I forgot his name. He's like a merchant guy who tags along. We'll see a screenshot as well. Let me hear that again. Yeah, I think he may be the dad of Sarai or some relation to Dorothy or something. I think we know he's gonna get killed as well at some point. Or something like that was implied. I may be remembering incorrectly from previous trailers. Yeah, we get a really nice look. I really like his eyes. They captured the eyes well. The snake-like eyes. Oh, we actually get Pooh and Kirito. Where... Is that the Blue Rose Sword? Yeah, that is the Blue Rose Sword. Interesting. I wonder what happens to Eugeo to get to this point. Because technically we are supposed to have the Myosotis Blade. It's even been shown before. But I think I want to check something else as well. I want to see Kirito's clothes. Okay, that is... Oh, he's one-handed wielding Blue Rose Sword as well. Interesting. And also the overall scene. I think this may be inside the Obsidia Palace. Maybe somewhere later down the line in the story. Before the actual war. As I said, I expect the story to be much longer than the canon War of Underworld. So we may be heading into the Obsidia Palace back at some point. We can see a lot of corruption within the Obsidia Palace as well. So this may be one of those scenes. Maybe one of the story reasons removes Kirito of his swords. And he has to... And something happened to Eugeo, so he is using the Blue Rose Sword instead. Could be. This might be the first time a major character dies in the Gameverse. I actually don't expect anyone major to die. I don't think that merchant dude that tags along with Sarai and Dorothy to be a major character. He's just a supporting cast for those crew. We can see Alice getting captured. Is that like Bercouli's in the back? Because you can see polygons coming out of it. Or could just be fire and I can't see correctly because of the lacking bitrate of YouTube compression. Could be either way. But Alice is getting captured, so eventually we'll have that chase and stuff from the looks of it. That is, of course, our one and only Pooh, which is always great to have. Okay, wait, I don't want to go this far yet. I will. This is why this guy I'm talking about with Sarai and Dorothy. This is why I think I'm thinking he's gonna get killed. He's clearly trying to save or support Sarai and Dorothy in whatever it is that they're trying to do, and he's caught. He has betrayed the Dark Territory somehow. That is also a problem in and of its own, but maybe he also breaks the seal of the right eye. That's the right eye. That's the left one. Now this actually had my attention very early on. You can see Iskahn having those red possessed-like eyes. So maybe this ties into what we have seen in the Obsidia Palace earlier with the corruption. Or maybe it's just Pooh doing his mind control things. Who knows? I hope they don't portray it that way in the game as well. Yeah, this may actually be at some point where Scheta and Iskahn are actually on good terms, and Iskahn is just going berserk by being possessed by something. This scene really reminds me of Hollow Realization, DLC 2, where Tia falls down from the bridge and Kirito just jumps down to save her. That was one of the good scenes in Hollow Realization, despite the fact that their in-engine stuff was absolutely terrible back in Hollow Realization. Oh yeah, that's the bit. I really like that shot. We have Sarai, we have Dorothy, they're all together. I think they're journeying towards somewhere, and that's our guy who I think is going to die. Oh, we're gonna go into some images as well that they revealed during that stream over 2 weeks ago, because I'm very late. Yeah, there we go. That's our goddess arrivals. One thing I have just noticed, they likely haven't completed the animations because Asuna is not actually gripping the radiant light. Yeah. Why do I notice these things? Either way, one of the things people have mentioned early on that caused a lot of people to think that Lisbeth and Silica are not going to be goddess accounts is that the way real worlders phrase themselves, they know they are not the goddesses because they know the goddesses are a lie, a myth. So that's why they don't refer to themselves as goddesses. They say they are just enacting the punishment of those goddesses. You will see that consistent across every single line they have. Like Asuna goes, by the creation god Stacia's decree, in her words, I am doing this. And the others do that as well. They are all super accounts, as far as we know. In the name of sun god Solus, by the power of the Terraria, etc, etc. VLC, please stop doing that. This shot is really nice, I love that. All three goddesses together. Now this, we think all the 2D scenes are just going to be the opening animation, but I feel like they have to have scenes in between. They can't, like for major scenes, I still think we're gonna have something. It doesn't look like we're gonna have anima 3D anime cutscenes at all, but maybe, just maybe, I'm really hoping for some A1 cutscenes like Unleash Blading did. 60 to 90 second scenes in between 4 major events. I think that would be the best way to go. We still don't have any of that confirmed, so we're imagining these are all just part of the opening animation instead. Gonna be interesting. The line after... we haven't seen any of the Game vs. Heroines yet, right? No, we have not seen any of the Game vs. Heroines. But this being War of Underworld, Klein and Aguilar there using Emospheres with their AO avatars, we know all of them are going to be in there. That's pretty much confirmed, don't worry about that. The line after the 3 goddesses, is that Renly? Sounds like it. It's a bit more passionate, and like passionate from the sense that the tone is creaking a bit. Renly usually doesn't shout that much, but who am I to say? That does sound like Renly. That's Bercouli. So, from the looks of it, that is her Stacia outfit. So they are already here, and much like in Licorice, other characters arrive a bit later compared to others, I guess. Maybe they are just chucking them back in as they die. So that may be the case. Or maybe because, does anyone remember, Ark, do you remember what they said in Licorice? Where do Lisbeth and Silica die from? I think that may be the reason, because Leafa and Sinon are on Ocean Turtle, right? So they likely plug them back in immediately alongside Asuna, whereas Lisbeth and Silica arrive a bit later because they are on the Roppongi branch, I'd imagine. I really like Lisbeth's general attire. Like, they have that Indian god-like things with the beads in the back. Kinda goes against Lisbeth. Like, when I think of Indian gods, I think of calm, tranquility. Not exactly the words I would describe Lisbeth with. Silica is just Silica. I really love Eugeo's super animation. He does the sword flip. I love the sword flip. Look at that majestic sword flip. Funny thing is... Wait, Klein, I'm gonna gush about you later. Funny thing is, he literally goes into the Warple strike motion and then somehow slams it instead. Let me see that again. Yeah, like... did you see that? For a single frame, he's holding it as the Warple strike thing. Like this. And then randomly just flips it around and slams it. You could have just brought it this way from the get-go. Catch. There we go. Like you see, he already grabbed it in the Warple strike motion. Brought it up for Warple strike. But no, that was a joke. Now I'm flipping it around and I'm gonna slam it down for Enhance Armament. Or Perfect Weapon Control, Memory Release, whatever. Good job, Klein. That actually reminds me the Ordinal Scale scene from the very beginning against Kagachi the Samurai Lord. Very clear they are focusing on his guild leader persona. That's exactly what he did in Ordinal Scale as well. He attacks and then calls for the tanks to come in to save him. Well, not to save him, it's literally the switching motion, but... Greetings, I see we discussing how cool Kiri looks with a purple scarf. I haven't done that, but feel free to do so. Who am I to stop you, Limo? Oh, you can always gush about cute Kiri. Kirito's incarnate Starburst stream animation is clean. That has become kind of a standard at this point. There we go, that's my Argo. That's my Argo, but they haven't shown him, her. Also, Egil's attack feels like Ordinal Scale as well. In Ordinal Scale 2, he's just coming down with Liz with the blunt weapon to slam, what was it, an incarnation of the Radius? By the way, I do think DIL is going to be an ally as well. We're gonna talk about it in a bit. And with Argo going, you really think you can fight all of us? It's pretty clear we have a full-on ALO army at this point. So I'm kind of annoyed. Bandai, please, just change that U to a Ya at least. You need to imply that being Argo. If people have not seen Scherzo of Deep Night, I really don't expect anyone to understand who this is. And that's really kind of a shame. In Japanese text, you can immediately recognize Argo. Whereas in English subtitles, all of that is usually downgraded to changing a U into Ya. And here, they didn't even do that. Like, Bandai, come on. You can't do that much. Right? I still don't understand how she'll become an ally playable character. I'm assuming you're talking about DIL. I will talk about how that will very likely happen, because there's a very clear path. I really love the passion in Iskhahn's voice. And you see his eyes are normal here, so there's definitely some possessing going on in the earlier one. There's Lipia. Also, a funny bit, I am really excited to see more of Lipia and Shasta in this game. Mainly because in the main canon, it is implied that Fanatio's insecurities are caused by Shasta himself. And my take on that is, Shasta didn't at all insult Fanatio when they met in the Dark Territory, when they clashed swords in the Dark Territory. But what happened is, Fanatio simply reminded Shasta of Lipia, which prevented Shasta from actually going full on out against Fanatio. And since Fanatio has no idea about why Shasta is doing this, has no clue about who Lipia is, she just takes it as an insult. Oh, this person is not going full on out against me. Must be because I'm a female. He doesn't take me seriously, so I'm just gonna go insecure, hide my femaleness, femininity. Kind of a nice bit. I really do hope they have a little event between the trio of Fanatio, Lipia, and Shasta. And if they can clarify that, I'll be really, really happy. I'll be impressed with the writers for paying that much attention. Kinda disappointed about Alice's finisher skill, because we have seen Eugeo doing the sword flip and then bringing the sword down. We will have Starbar Stream with Kirito, but Alice simply seems to have just bring the sword to the side for enhance armament and then guide them. The exact same animation as Licorice as far as we have seen so far. Kind of a disappointment. I would have expected, I don't know, something different. Oh yeah, that's like obviously there's a huge cut in the middle, but I really like the bring the swords up and then taking them to the sides. That's the exact animation from War of Underworld when he's going for Gabriel Miller. I really like that move. Really flows so nice. I love it. And that's pretty much the standard slamming of Starbar Stream. Every single media has it. I think the first media that portrayed it that way was Ordinal Scale. I may be mistaken on that. Because Starbar Stream borderline fails against Gleameyes. Eclipse is used against Heathcliff. Starbar Stream is not used at all anywhere else in Season 2. And then next up we have Ordinal Scale, and that's where Ordinal Scale portrayal was very liberal as well, going everywhere on the screen. But the final blast, this iconic shot, that was first done in Ordinal Scale. Then, I'm pretty sure War of Underworld used it as well. And pretty much all the games used it. And I really love that. Like the specific move and flow of the skill, they pretty much perfected it at this point. And it's more or less uniform across all media. If the SAO army appears, do you think Lux might appear? I don't think Lux will appear, mainly because she's too much of an obscure character, and this is not an SAO game, and I don't think they will go that far just for a cameo appearance for a series that has long ended already. This shot is important because this key visual is the reason why Yuuki has been officially confirmed to be in the game.